want Rexburg to understand that this is a real problem. Not just any problem, this is, I think on almost anybody's radar, okay, if they knew the facts, they would admit, confess, this is the biggest problem plaguing the earth. I mean, is there anything worse than children being taken and trafficked? And yes, a lot of it happens overseas, most of it, but it's happening here too. And anyway, you know, if you're talking about kids, who cares where it's happening? This is a special community. I think there's good, I've been here many times, it's a good place, there's good people. And so we need to come to places of light, places of action, because it's the responsibility of people like those who live here in Rexburg to rise up and do something. This is the type of community that will do something. And what that is, it depends on them. This problem's so vast. There's everything from rescues to rehab. There's awareness, there's education, there's the political aspect. We need people involved. And I have a lot of confidence based on what I've seen of the people in Rexburg, that this is exactly the kind of community that we need involved to bring forth a solution.
And I love that you don't just say, oh, donate money to us or do this or do that. You turn it back on them so that they can come up with their own ideas.
Absolutely.
I really like that. So what keeps you going? How do you keep your emotions afloat being in the middle of like heinous crimes?
Yeah, it's really, really hard to do what we do, to see what we see. It's emotionally scarring. It hurts. We cry a lot. But what keeps us going is knowing that every trafficker that goes to jail represents 100, maybe more kids who now are no longer in the path of a predator. And so much pain is spared, and that's what keeps us going. Knowing that everyone we put away will save and rescue kids that never even knew they needed to be rescued.
So I've witnessed local pedophiles, for instance, and there is a grooming process when children are captured sometimes. Have you had kids who have not really wanted to be their abusers?
Yes, that's a very good question. Usually the younger kids, we don't see that. They're still, they haven't been rewired quite enough, and they appreciate and love the liberation. When they get to be older, 15, 16, 17, they've been rewired to the point that they believe that they are a sex object, they're a commodity. They've been trained, groomed, coerced into believing that. And sometimes in the rescues, they get frightened. They think they're in trouble. They don't want their slave owner to be in trouble because they think that's all they have. So there's been, that's part of the process. It's part of the complexities of this problem. And we do everything we can for them. We offer the rehab and send them to the rehab and hopefully get them healed. Show them, the most important thing is showing them there's other options out there. For example, we rescued a girl in Mexico who kind of fell into that category. She went to one of our partner rehab facilities, and we went there several times to check on her and the others we rescued. And what we tell them is, we ask them, what do you want to be? What do you want to be? And she's like, well, I've always kind of wanted to be a beautician. It took her a long time to admit that she could be something else. And we said, well, you know what? When you're ready to go, when you become an adult, you turn 18, we are going to fund your schooling. We'll send you to whatever school you want, and you're going to be a beautician. And when they see there's other options for them, that someone sees something else in them besides being a sex object, that's when there's hope. That's when I think there's healing. And so that's what we try to provide.